Zia stood in the doorway of his cramped apartment on Mars Colony 7, staring at the impossible sight before him. Elsa, the Elsa, dragonkin royalty from the Pyraxian Empire, with scales that shimmered like molten copper and eyes that burned with an inner fire. The same girl who had ruled the social hierarchy at the Intergalactic Academy 15 years ago, while he'd been nothing more than a scrawny human bookworm hiding in the library. "Zia," she said, her voice carrying that same musical quality he remembered from stolen glances across the cafeteria. "I need your help." He almost laughed, almost because the universe had a sick sense of humor. Back at the Academy, humanity had been the newest addition to the Galactic Council, barely worthy of notice. Humans were weak, their technology primitive, their lifespan laughably short. The other species had made that abundantly clear. The Vraxians with their 4 arms and combat prowess, the Synthoids with their computational minds, the Pyraxians with their dragon heritage and literal fire-breathing capabilities. And then there was Zia. Underweight, overambitious, hopelessly in love with a girl so far out of his league she might as well have been in another dimension. "Help?" Zia finally managed, adjusting his neural interface glasses. A human invention that had become standard across 3 sectors now, he noted with some satisfaction. "You need my help?" Elsa's wings, magnificent structures of scaled membrane and bone, twitched with what might have been embarrassment. "The Pyraxian Empire is dying, Zia. Our sons are going nova. We have 5 years, maybe less. The Council has abandoned us. They say it's too expensive, too difficult, that our people should simply relocate and integrate." She stepped closer and Zia caught the scent of sulfur and cinnamon, exactly as he remembered. "But I remember you," she continued. "I remember the human boy who solved the Karstoff equation in his 2nd year. Something professors said was impossible. I remember you designing a faster-than-light communication array as a hobby project. The Council dismissed you because you were human. I dismissed you because I was a fool." Zia's heart hammered against his ribs. 15 years. 15 years of building himself up, of throwing himself into research and engineering, of proving that humanity wasn't just worthy of a seat at the galactic table. They deserved to build the damn table. "Why me?" he asked, though part of him already knew. "Because humans don't give up," Elsa said simply. "Because when everyone told you that you didn't belong at the Academy, you graduated top of your class. Because when they said humanity would never contribute anything meaningful to galactic civilization, you invented the Zia drive, the propulsion system that cut interstellar travel time by 70%. She was right. He had done those things. Not for recognition, not for revenge, but because that's what humans did. They solved impossible problems with duct tape determination and a healthy disregard for the word impossible. "The Council won't fund a rescue operation," Zia said, his mind already racing through calculations. "But I'm guessing you're not here asking for permission." A smile played at the corners of Elsa's scaled lips, the first genuine smile he'd ever seen from her. "I'm asking for a miracle. Can you save my people?" Zia walked to his workstation, pulling up holographic displays with a gesture. Star charts, energy calculations, material requirements. The problem was enormous. Moving an entire civilization, with 5 years' notice? The logistics alone would break most species, but humans had evacuated entire colonies in less time during the Proxima crisis. Humans had built habitats in radiation zones that other species said would kill them in hours. Humans had looked at the cold equations of survival and said, "Watch this." "I'll need a team," Zia said, his fingers flying over the holographic interface. "Human engineers, mostly. The Pyraxian Empire will need to provide raw materials and labor. And Elsa?" He turned to face her, meeting those burning eyes that had haunted his dreams for a decade and a half. "No one can know this was my idea. If the Council finds out humanity is running an unauthorized rescue operation of this scale, they'll shut us down." "Why would you risk that?" Elsa asked softly. "After how my people treated you." "After how I treated you?" Zia thought about the countless times he'd been mocked at the Academy. The accidentally spilled chemical compounds on his research. The whispers that humans were only admitted as a diversity quota. He thought about Elsa, laughing with her dragonkin friends while he'd watched from the shadows, too afraid to even speak to her. He should say no. He should let the universe take its course, let the proud Pyraxians learn what it felt like to be dismissed and forgotten. But that wasn't humanity. That wasn't him. Because someone has to give a damn, Zia said. And humans are really, really good at that. Over the next 6 months, Zia assembled the most audacious rescue operation in galactic history. Human engineers worked around the clock, designing mobile habitats that could house millions. Human diplomats quietly negotiated with sympathetic species for resources. Human pilots flew missions into Paraxian space that should have been suicide runs. The Council never saw it coming. When the Paraxian suns finally began their death throes, 3 billion dragonkin were safely evacuated to New Paraxis, a terraformed world that humans had secretly been preparing in an adjacent sector. The galaxy erupted in shock. How had the weak, primitive humans managed what the entire Galactic Council had deemed impossible? Zia never took credit. The operation was attributed to a coalition of concerned species, and he let it stay that way. Humanity didn't need the recognition. They'd proven their point. On the day of the final evacuation, Elsa found him on the observation deck of his ship, watching the old Paraxian suns collapse into supernovae. "Thank you," she said, standing beside him.
For saving us.
"For being better than we deserved?" Zia smiled, still watching the cosmic fireworks. "You know what humans say? Today you, tomorrow me. We help because someday we might need help too. And if that day comes," Elsa said, her hand finding his, "the Paraxian Empire will remember the scrawny nerd who loved me when I was too blind to see him. The man who saved my entire species without asking for anything in return." Zia looked at their joined hands, human and dragonkin, fragile flesh and armored scales. "I didn't do it for recognition," he said softly. "I know," Elsa replied. "That's what makes it extraordinary. That's what makes humanity extraordinary." As the twin suns died in brilliant cascades of light, Zia realized something profound. The galaxy had been wrong about humans. They weren't weak. They were resilient. They weren't primitive. They were innovative. And they weren't insignificant. They were exactly what the galaxy needed, even if it didn't know it yet. Humanity, fuck yeah.